Imagine a man. He is walking alone at night. The air is cool and still. He is on his phone. He is laughing with a friend. The conversation is normal. It is about work. It is about the weekend. Then, the call drops. Silence fills the line. The man looks at his phone. He sees no signal. He looks up at the vast, dark sky. He feels a sudden chill. He tries to call back. The phone will not connect. He is not worried yet, just annoyed. He starts walking again. Then, he is simply gone. This is how some stories of Skinwalker Ranch begin. They do not start with a scream. They start with a sudden, inexplicable silence. These are not tales of grand adventure. They are small moments. A person takes a step they cannot take back. A familiar path becomes an end point. The stories are told in hushed tones. They are shared around kitchen tables, whispered over crackling phone lines late at night. The people who tell them do not seek fame. They seek understanding. They want to know what happened in that brief, quiet moment. The moment when a brother, a friend, or a coworker stepped out of our world. The details are always simple. A car door opens. A person gets out. They are never seen again. The feeling is immediate and sharp. A conversation cut short. A thought that suddenly stops. The person who vanished was in the middle of their life. They had plans for tomorrow. They had a family waiting for them at home. The vanishing itself is a violation of the natural order. People do not just cease to exist. Skinwalker Ranch is a piece of land in northeastern Utah. It covers about 512 acres. The area is part of the Uinta Basin. To look at it, you would not see anything special. It is a working ranch, fields, barns, a main house. The landscape is dry and rugged. Mesas rise in the distance. The sky is huge and often incredibly clear. For most of its history, it was just another piece of American property. People raised cattle. They lived their lives. But that is not the story people tell today. The ranch has a reputation, a very strange one. The ranch matters because of its history. For decades, perhaps centuries, strange things have been reported there. The Ute tribe, who have lived in the area a long time, have legends about this land. They speak of a path of the skinwalker. In Navajo tradition, a skinwalker is a harmful witch who can transform into an animal. The tribal stories are a warning. They say to stay away from certain parts of the basin. The ranch sits in the middle of this legendary zone. It has become a focal point for high strangeness. The modern story gained traction in the 1990s. The Gormans bought the ranch to raise prized cattle. Soon after moving in, they reported bizarre and terrifying events. They saw strange lights, unidentified objects hovering, and cattle found mutilated in strange ways. They saw large, wolf-like creatures that seemed impervious to bullets. Tormented, the family sold the ranch to Robert Bigelow, who founded the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS. He brought in scientists to study the ranch. They set up cameras, sensors, and documented everything they could. Their research deepened the mystery. Strange magnetic fields, objects they could not identify, and voices from nowhere. The ranch became a scientific anomaly, a place where the laws of physics seemed to bend. It is a real place with a documented history of the unexplained. The most puzzling reports from Skinwalker Ranch involve people who simply vanish. These are not official police-filed cases you can easily look up. They exist in the gray area of anecdotal evidence, told by locals, by former ranch hands, fragments passed down through families. One rumor, researchers entered a cave system on the property. They went in. They never came out. Later, the entrance was said to have collapsed or been sealed. Another story, a lone hitchhiker. A driver passes him. Minutes later, only the man's backpack remains on the roadside, on a long, straight road with nowhere to hide. It was as if he had been plucked from the earth. Hard to verify, embedded in folklore, and yet some reports are recent. Drawn by the ranch's reputation. A group parked to watch the sky. One member walked a short distance. His beam moved in the dark, then went out. They called his name. They searched for hours. They found his flashlight on the ground. Still on. But he was gone. Ranchers tell of dogs that refuse certain areas. A trained tracker stops dead at a fence and will not cross. Simple observations. A dog that will not track. A person there one moment, gone the next. Through their eyes. Witness accounts and quiet facts. We must look carefully. They often sound credible. They do not seem to seek attention. A former ranch security guard, a military veteran, described a dark, human-like figure watching from a ridge. He looked away for a second. When he looked back, it was gone, impossibly fast. He felt a deep dread he could not explain. The facts are often simple and stark. A person was last seen by the road. Minutes later, they were not there. A child went for a ball and did not come back. Basic facts may stand, but causes are disputed. Memory is fallible. Stress distorts. What felt instant might be minutes, time enough to run, or be taken. One family said their son vanished for minutes near an old corral. Panic. Then he reappeared in the same spot, confused, saying a big dog led him to a dark room underground. He was unharmed. They left soon after. A simple fact paired with an unverifiable claim. We must remain cautious. The line between witness report and wild claim is thin. Section 5. Seeking answers. From natural causes to the unthinkable. We start with logic. Natural causes. The Utah desert is harsh. People get lost, fall into ravines or hidden mine shafts, suffer dehydration and exposure. Predators exist here. Coyotes, mountain lions. An injured, isolated person can fall victim. The land is disorienting. Strange formations, vast spaces. Then human reasons. Some choose to leave. Debt, the law, family struggle, and disappearances can be staged to look mysterious. Foul play remains possible in an isolated area where abduction is easier, sad, common, to be considered first. Third, the unknown. The sheer volume of odd reports pushes beyond the norm. Geological forces, magnetic or gravitational anomalies affecting perception or matter. Others point to UFOs, even interdimensional intelligence, observing, interacting, perhaps taking people. Portals are mentioned. Someone steps through and cannot return. People blur, fade. Some physicists explore possibilities. For now, it is speculation. At Skinwalker Ranch, speculation is sometimes all we have. Section 6. The weight of not knowing. For families, the mystery is constant pain. Limbo. They cannot mourn. They cannot move on. They are trapped by the question, what happened? The search is exhausting. Police, flyers, pleading with the public. Linked to a place like this, the burden grows. Tell an officer you think. UFO. A paranormal entity. Fear of ridicule silences many. Witnesses carry trauma from glimpses they cannot explain. Sometimes it shatters reality. The ranch's reputation attracts all kinds, making credible help harder to find. The human cost is immense. Section 7. A question that lingers in the dark. Some vanishings may someday be solved. A confession, a recovery, bringing painful closure. Others may never be. The land does not speak. People share what they saw. We should respect the subject, avoid claims we cannot prove, and present the facts and accounts we have. Let them feel the cold air. Let them imagine that empty road. The power is not in monsters, but in the quiet feeling that something is wrong. To vanish is to leave a void. A life lives on in memory. The search for truth is an act of hope. Every flyer a prayer, every camera a question. I leave you with a question. If someone you loved walked into the night and was gone in a blink, what would you do? Would you search forever? Tell their story, even if called a liar. How far would you go for an answer that may not exist? This is the question at the center of the Skinwalker Ranch mystery, a question of loss, of belief, and of our need to know what lurks in the dark.